Hi folks, welcome to the channel. So today you may just see in the background another Strat, and I'm delighted to say that we've got another Masterbuilt guitar today, and this one is a Yuri Shishkov Masterbuilt 1955. So let's take a closer look now. So here's an absolutely beautiful Masterbuilt Fender Strat, and this one's made by the great builder Yuri Shishkov, who you may be familiar with. Makes some of the most outlandish customized gem-laden Strats out there, but also makes dare we say regular guitars as well. So this one's a 1955, or based on a 1955, and it's, I guess, would you say a closet classic, maybe a light relic. It's got certainly got a good tint to the neck lacquer. There's a bit of age and wear, of course, to the tuners, but you can see that the headstock decal is intact, so it's not supposed to have had too much wear over its life. This one would have been replicating a guitar that's been used a fair bit, but looked after and played and loved, but not abused. So there's the maple neck there. Of course, you've got the single ply pickguard with the staggered pole pieces that you can just see on the pickups there, and vintage bridge, of course, and lovely figured body there. So yeah, so that's the front. We'll just turn it over. Okay, pardon the background noise, by the way. It's quite a wet, miserable day here. We've got wind and rain, and it's creaking and what have you. So anyway, we'll plow on. So here's the back of the guitar, two-tone sunburst. You can see there isn't any real red or anything in there. This is one of the sort of 50s Strats with the two-tone. So again, you can see the quality of the timber there, and also it's got like a really silky satin worn part to the neck. It's gloss towards the end there, and then you've just got real satin. It's gorgeous. And clues and tuners there, and of course Yuri's mark. Okay, now on the inside we've got the certificate of authenticity here, dated to 2016, so it's only 5 years old, this one. And you've got the usual accoutrement, as they say. So we've got the owner's manual, various sort of paraphernalia there. There's the ashtray as well, and of course the custom shop toolkit. We're using one on another guitar at the moment, actually. I think it's it's dotted around, bear with me. So we're filming another video on another Shishkov Strat today, so we're having some fun with that and using the actual toolkit that came with it to put it to its use. So stay tuned for that other video. So yeah, so spare tremolo springs and the arm and that kind of stuff in there. So there we go. So that's the guitar. Now, the thing with the closet classics is there's somewhere, so you can see there's some sort of minor chipping and marks and age, but no major dings or anything. You might be able to see some crazing in the lacquer and stuff like that, but essentially it's supposed to be a guitar that's been well looked after, but obviously showing its age a little bit. So that's fine. And we were going to play this one today, and it needs restringing anyway, and being a Masterbuilt, I thought it'd be nice to take the pickguard off, have a look at the pickups, see who makes those. The other Shishkov we're looking at the moment has got Josefina pickups in there, so we'll have a look at that, and we'll no doubt see the Shishkov stamp in the body as well. But there is a problem with this guitar, and namely that, so it's not playing at the moment. It was playing when the chap actually bought it. So it's actually Mark Leveson, who I mentioned in my other Shishkov video. So this is his guitar, and he's staying with me a few days, so we thought we'd feature this on the channel. I'd like to share it with you, but it does need a bit of work. Now basically the strings are, if you have a listen, they're bottoming out quite heavily all the way down the neck really, and the action is pretty much on the neck. But if we have a look at the bridge, it's not raised too far off the deck. It's not really too bad, and the saddles aren't at their limit, but they're not far off. And And being a Masterbuilt guitar, there's no way on earth that this guitar needs any shims or anything in the neck. So I think it's more a case that the truss rod needs adjusting. Maybe there was a quite heavy change in string gauge or something. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Probably not from this angle, but basically the neck looks a little bit too flat for my liking and possibly even bowed back a touch. So I think what we're going to do today is really just get the pick guard off, have a look at the electronics, get the neck off probably, so we can see the marks and stuff on there, and adjust the truss rod, restring it, and hopefully get to play it for you. So stay tuned. You can really tell the weight of the single ply scratch plate. It's so much lighter than the 3 or 4 plies. Okay, let's take a closer look. Welcome to the inside of a Fender Masterbuilt Strat. So this one is the Yuri Shishkov, as I say, 1955. You can see the way the nitro has kind of aged into the grain of the wood there, and very fine crazing on it. Very authentic work, of course, as you would expect. There's the YS, the stamp for Yuri Shishkov. And again, like other master builders, it's more of a stamp to say who's made the guitar. It's kind of an authenticity stamp for the master builder and for Fender. You could, I suppose, forge that if that was something that somebody was to copy, but of course it is actually sprayed after the stamp is made. But I think it's more to do with the fact that in order to get rid of those initials, you'd either have to fill them or write down past them. Either way, something fishy would have been going on. So by putting the stamp in, it's just a sign of authenticity and a signature's make and mark for the body. So there we go. And as typical for a Masterbuilt guitar, the routs are very nicely clean cut, nice square edges, cleaned right out and square to the bottom of the cavity. Superb, crisp, clean job there. You'll also note the worm route as well. Just there we go, just in here, which was an early kind of almost Heath Robinson way of getting the cables to the control cavity. Obviously later on that was removed, but in the early days there was this extra little worm route that would have just taken the cables out and away through there. So that's interesting to see. I've got it on my original 63, and it looks very much like that, to be fair. So the Masterbuilt do really kind of do a great job at replicating what used to happen. The pots are CTS there. Fender use their own caps these days, 0.1 microfarad, that one. Now this guitar does have a 5-way switch, but it was fitted that way when the guitar was built. Obviously, being a 55 guitar at heart, it would have only ever had a 3-way switch, but at the end of the day there's a 5-way switch available now, so why wouldn't you use it? So it kind of makes sense. But as always, you can see the you know, the basic sort of clean lines there, and the tidy layout, and the general pride that the master builders take when they're wiring the guitars up. I don't know what the pickups are in this. The other Shishkov we're looking at the moment is has got Josefina signed and dated pickups in. These black bottoms mounted on rubbers, as they would have been back in the day, will be some form of custom shop pickups. So I'm not sure how hot or bright or otherwise they are, but I guess we'll find out soon enough when we plug it in. So bear with me for that in a few moments. The neck has got a mark of their 18500, just probably a part production number for the neck. Beautiful maple neck there, some nice figuring, like tiger stripe on that. Very pretty. Obviously what you lose on this part in terms of the figure tends to become less visible, but it becomes silky, silky, silky smooth in the play worn area, and it feels really lovely. Now, obviously, I've not been able to play it properly yet because of the setup issue, so we're gonna try and resolve that in a few moments. by adjusting the truss rod and getting some new strings on it and seeing what we can do with that. But yeah, so there we go. Incidentally, just before we go ahead and start playing the guitar, please do like the video. Check out my other Masterbuilt videos. We've got 2 Shishkovs, we've got a Jason Smith and a Mark Kendrick as well, plus plenty of other guitars, of course. Now, about 95% of my viewers aren't actually subscribers, so if you would hit the subscribe button for more updates and videos, that would be really awesome, and I'd really appreciate your help with that. So without further ado, let's get this bad boy back together and get ready to play it. Well, that's the guitar put back together. Only needed about 1/4 of a turn on the truss rod, not too much, but just enough to give it the freedom. So there we are. So the strings are, the action's still nice and low, how Mark likes it. Barely anything there. The strings aren't choking off now. Basically all it was the tension wasn't quite enough. I'm guessing he probably may have had different gauge strings on there or something before, so we've just tweaked it a bit. I guess it could do with a proper setup, just having the individual strings adjusted slightly, but in the intonation and what have you. But we'll give it a go as it is. I even managed to salvage the old strings because they're not actually in that bad a condition, and I know that Mark's not going to be playing this one very much, so no point in putting brand new strings on it just for today. So these ones are pretty good, so we'll go ahead with these. Let's plug it in. Oh, I love this guitar. Do you know what? This is probably the nicest guitar I've ever played. And hello, Mark. So Mark is the owner. He's sitting here watching me abuse his guitars. So follow the channel, subscribe, and just share this stuff because these guitars are amazing. So thanks again, Mark, for lending me your guitars for the show.
Worries, fella. You're welcome, mate.
And it's always a pleasure having you around for a bit.
Always a pleasure to play my guitars and test them. Yeah.
Thank you, and we'll be back soon. Like, subscribe, share, and enjoy. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.